Well, it was another nail-biter of an ending yesterday, but the Jags delivered a much-needed win against Arizona yesterday, fending off the Cardinals in overtime. Here to tell us about the Jags' playoffs potential is Alessandra Pontbriand, sportscaster at WJCT News for Jags. Hey, Alessandra.
Hey, yeah. Listen, another Victory Monday that we get to talk about. It was a close one, though.
A barely victory Monday, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, they won 27-24 in overtime. They moved up one spot in the playoff race. So that's the one bright spot. Obviously, the game, they did win, but not a great game from the offense specifically. Defense played really well, but the offense not great, especially Trevor Lawrence. But it came down to Cam Little's 52-yard field goal in overtime.
Once again, Mr. Cam Little.
Literally. And remember in the beginning of the season, he wasn't really reliable.
Right.
He had some issues, but now after hitting the NFL record, he's been quite reliable like he was last year. So this is great for Cam Little. And then you have to give it up to Dewey Wingard and Christian Braswell, who broke up the pass on 4th and 4 that was inside the 10-yard line, that if the Cardinals player actually did catch, they probably would have been able to win the game. Yeah. So that was awesome for those guys.
That was a huge defensive play. Mattered
huge
all the way.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, the game ended after that. Yeah. So, you have to give it to those two guys. And those are not, like the superstars on the defense that everyone thinks about, but they're two reliable guys, especially Dewey Wingard. He's been here for, I think this is his 7th or 8th year here. Wow. He was a special teams warrior when he started. Now he's really doing a good job on the defense. But I like how Liam Cohen said after the game, he was like, nobody flinched. No one was disappointed on the sideline. No one had their heads down. They knew they were going to win this game. They had faith in themselves.
And he's been sort of encouraging that, no pouting, right? This isn't over. We have to stay in this game until the end and really not lose faith.
Yeah, and you got to be mentally tough. Obviously, we've seen that they can be physically tough, but you have to be mentally tough. And the teams that are mentally tough can win these overtime games. The ones that can't, you would beat themselves up. And I think you saw that last year and the past year before that, which are the first 2 years that I covered the Jaguars that I can speak on, that, I don't know if they were completely mentally tough to be able to come back and win a game like this. But it's different with Liam Cohen, and, it was evident yesterday.
Coming back is not as much fun as just kind of holding the game from the beginning. And so what do they still need to work on so that, it was an exciting game finish, but not everybody loves that. I'm sure the coach isn't really crazy about the kind of comeback, finish.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, he threw 3 interceptions, lost a fumble. He said after the game, quote, "I have to be smart with the ball." Obviously, we had 4 turnovers. They were all on me. I own that. He was 18 of 30 for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So the offense, specifically Trevor Lawrence, needed to play better. But you did have guys step up. Jacoby Myers had a few plays, including a touchdown. That was really big. Parker Washington is just a star in the special teams with that huge return that set up the touchdown. And then, he made some crucial catches, especially the one in overtime in the first play that gained 25 yards and led to Cam Little's game-winning field goal. But Brenton Strange returned. This is his first game back since Monday Night Football in the beginning of October. And he led the team with 93 yards and 5 catches. And you saw literally at the beginning of the game on the first drive when they went 97 yards and 4 plays to lead 7-0, that he had a huge crucial play. I think it was 20, 30 yards for that catch. So
really back in the game after injury.
No, absolutely. And it's nice to see him back. Hunter Long is still out, who's the backup tight end. So now that's why Johnny Munt was in there. And then Quentin Morris has played really well, who started on practice squad and then was activated to the active roster. So, it's really nice that Brenton Strange is back, especially because Brian Thomas Jr. didn't play. Travis Hunter's out for the rest of the season. So you're missing a lot of your offensive weapons. So that was nice. But you got to give it to the defense. They were absolutely relentless. 5 sacks on Jacoby Brissett, 14 quarterback hits.
Yeah.
They did a really good job just messing him up.
That was their backup quarterback, the Cardinals.
Yeah. So Kyler Murray's out with injury. So Jacoby Brissett is in. Now, he did have the NFL completion record last week. So he was coming in with some confidence. And the Jaguars defense just made it a long day for him. But still, even though, the defense played so well, it still went into overtime.
So we've got another game coming up. They're playing the Titans in Tennessee, and they're looking to extend this win streak to a 3rd week.
I know.
The Titans aren't great, right? We should be, you never want to say, this morning it was a Monday, we know that things can happen, but they're 10-1. So what do you think, or 1-10? What are you thinking for the Jags?
Listen, it's a rivalry game. The Jaguars and Titans, they always, and it's so funny because it's the college football rivalry week too, where it's like throw the records out because when these two teams play against each other, it's going to be physical. It's kind of like the Texans. It's going to be physical. It's going to be aggressive. And you're going to get like the best from both teams. Yes, the Titans aren't great, but you're going to Tennessee. It's a holiday weekend, so probably a lot of families will be in town. So the players want to play, for their families and stuff. So it's going to be a good game. I think the Jaguars will win. 3-game winning streak. We haven't talked about that in forever.
Right.
So that would be huge, especially late in the season.
Well, hopefully we're talking about it next Monday. Alessandra, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, guys.